Hi there, folks. This is the poem of the day, and today's poem is appropriate with my cup of coffee by Elizabeth Bishop. It's titled A Miracle for Breakfast. At 6 o'clock, we were waiting for coffee and the charitable crumb that was going to be served from a certain balcony, like kings of old, or like a miracle. It was still dark. 1 foot of the sun steadied itself on a low ripple in the river. The first ferry of the day had just crossed the river. It was so cold we hoped that the coffee would be very hot, seeing that the sun was not going to warm us, and that the crumb would be a loaf each, buttered by a miracle. At 7, a man stepped out on the balcony. He stood for a minute alone on the balcony, looking over our heads toward the river. A servant handed him the makings of a miracle, consisting of 1 lone cup of coffee and 1 roll, which he proceeded to crumb, his head, so to speak, in the clouds, along with the sun. Was the man crazy? What under the sun was he trying to do up there on his balcony? Each man received 1 rather hard crumb, which some flicked scornfully into the river, and in a cup 1 drop of the coffee. Some of us stood around, waiting for the miracle. I can tell you what I saw next. It was not a miracle. A beautiful villa stood in the sun, and from its doors came the smell of hot coffee. In front, a baroque white plaster balcony added by birds who nest along the river. I saw it with 1 eye close to the crumb. And galleries and marble chambers, my crumb, my mansion, made for me by a miracle, through ages, by insects, birds, and the river working the stone. Every day in the sun, at breakfast time, I sit on my balcony with my feet up and drink gallons of coffee. We licked up the crumb and swallowed the coffee. A window across the river caught the sun, as if the miracle were working on the wrong balcony. That was A Miracle for Breakfast by the great poet Elizabeth Bishop, who was born not on this date, actually 2 days ago. Sorry to have missed it, but glad to have been able to read her poem while drinking some coffee. This poem was published in 1972